Hello again, everyone. I'm Charles Gross.
And I'm Leslie Hoban Blake.
Welcome to Two on the Aisle. You okay, Leslie?
No, Charlie, I'm just back from Schmicago. I mean, just barely.
You found it.
You remember? Well, kind of. You know, when I ran out from our last review, I was headed to find the yellow brick road to Oz, where I thought that the wizard would help me get to Schmicago. You know, there are all these mythical characters, and it seemed to be right. And then I remembered that Dorothy, at the end of The Wizard of Oz, let the wizard go in his balloon home to Kansas, whereas she wanted to go. Also, she missed the balloon. The balloon got away with the wizard in it, and so she had to click her heels. But I found the wizard at home in Kansas, where he spends every spring, it turns out. And he was so sweet. He said he would help me. I mean, if you think about Joel Grey as the wizard, that's exactly what he's like. So the wizard and I hopped this freight train to Schmigadoon. Now, here's what you have to know about the map, which I didn't realize. There's a place on our map where you have Illinois. That's the wrong way. You have Illinois to the center, and then above on the side here you have Louisiana, and over here you have Missouri. Right across the line you have from Missouri to Louisiana, tiny little line, just like the line on the map. That's the magic path to cross to get to Schmigadoon. I'm exposing it to the world for whatever they want to use it for. That's what I did. So we crossed that, and it's right now. You know, Missouri's right next to Kansas. That it all makes sense. That's why the wizard is the right person. So we got into the territory. We didn't get to the bridge. We got as far as the leprechaun, who's really an angry, ugly little troll now. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Did you know that he spits toads and frogs?
I didn't know that.
He does, live ones. Ugh. Anyway, he gave us this whole routine about, you know, like from the Hotel California, you can check in, but you can't check out. You're never going to leave until you find your heart's desire, blah, 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 blah. And I realized I didn't want to risk it. I mean, I wasn't looking for my heart's desire. I just wanted to find out what was going to happen in episode 6. So I didn't think I wanted to stay there for the rest of my life, just so I could see episode 6. And the wizard said, "Oh, I think I left my light on in the hall." And suddenly he was running back, I suppose, to Kansas. So I was all by myself, and I was totally confused. And a pretty little farm girl came by. She had a basket full of Mary Kay cosmetics. I thought that was very funny. And she insisted on giving me a makeover. Most of it's worn off by now, but the whole schmear. And then she started to pull me across the bridge. And I thought, no, thanks. But that's the sweet smell of Schmigadoon. I was looking for the fetid stench of Chicago, and I knew that I didn't want to stay there. So I walked back over that little sliver of line, you know, that little border, and I found a reasonable hotel in Illinois for the night, and I watched episode 5 on a giant TV in the hotel lounge. You know, Charlie, I might as well have stayed home.
Maybe for our Schmigadoon or Schmicago is actually in Times Square, where you can find the greatest musicals in the world.
Right. Theater buffs like us don't really have any other wishes or desires, I guess.
But you did watch the 5th episode of Schmicago, as did I. And things are getting very dark. But it doesn't look that way at first. Josh and Melissa don't seem to be noticing, because Topher and Jenny have run off to spend some time with each other. So Melissa is now the headliner at the cabaret, which gives Cecily Strong a chance to strut her stuff in a maybe this time type number. Josh is asked to lead the hippies, and they're finding the happiness that they sought when they sought to return to Schmigadoon. But
they thought he was a magician and, you know, a magic person, because he did something simple like fix somebody's toe or touch, you know, and he's a doctor. So I thought that was very funny. But I'm very scared about those people, the townspeople following Josh, or any of or Topher either, because don't forget that this started in Schmicago, started in cabaret, and at the end of cabaret there are also all of these people longing for a leader, and then a strong leader comes, and who is he? You know, he's a Nazi. So I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this in episode 6. I'm really looking I'm really worried.
The numbers seem to be JC Superstar type. I noticed a Burt Bacharach number. When there,
well, that was with Sergeant Rivera and Frau.
Yes. And he did have a musical on Broadway, Promises, Promises, so it's a perfectly legitimate placement. The numbers were enjoyable, but not as strong as they were in previous episodes. Now, we mentioned things are getting dark, and they are. Alan Cummings and Christian Chenoweth are moving ahead with their plan to butcher orphans. And if that's not enough, Patrick Page puts his dastardly deed into action. Melissa is kidnapped. Josh is arrested again. What is going to happen in episode 6? Will Josh rescue Melissa from Patrick Page? Will the orphans end up in the meat grinder? And is the narrator going to get any more annoying than he already is in this episode?
Well, but he gave us the last line. And the last line was, there's always a twist. That's what we have to look forward to in episode 6, is whatever the twist is going to be.
I am very much looking forward to it. This is a very strong story. Schmicago's problem last season was that the ending just didn't live up to the rest of the series.
There. Right.
This one is posed to really go out with a buffo Broadway theatrical ending. So I'm looking forward to some great plot twists and some incredible musical numbers.
You think it's because they have more things to pick from in this episode than in this era than they did in the first era?
Well, when you say more to pick from, you mean more styles, more
styles of different kinds. There was so much experimentation going on. You know, I mean, the Fosse ruled for a couple of minutes, and then somebody else ruled for another couple of minutes. You know, and it was a cauldron of inventiveness.
It's possible. It's also they may not feel as respectful toward these later works as they do to the classics. They may feel they have more liberties, given that these works were taking liberties of their own in how they were pushing the theater.
That might be it. Anyway,
final episode airs this coming Wednesday night. We will be there to cover it, and then we will bring you the final blow by blow. Same Schmica time, same Schmica channel. Us two
on the Schmica couch.